Hello guys, it is Dave Okoni, CEO of Econize-More. So today we're not really going to talk about the business. We're gonna talk about that later. I wanted to bring in my new I wanted to bring in a project I hold in heart in my heart, and it is how my future has to look like. What does the inspiration comes from? So I have to come back because I forgot the booklet with my notes that I will need for the presentation of the business later. I'm coming back. So sorry. The pre the idea behind this house comes from the fact that I really love my neighborhood. I live in McNeil. I've been living in McNeil for 11 years now. I'm a kid born in Montreal. I lived around almost everywhere in Montreal, from the east to the west, and now I'm in McNeil. And since I came to Ottawa, I always been in McNeil. Never moved out of McNeil, and always stayed in McNeil. So this where the idea from the crib comes from. You know what I'm saying? As you see here, right? In red, that's the house, the building, right? And in purple here, that's the backyard, right? But it's not done there. You know, we're gonna talk about all the details. I want the house and everything, the inspiration, why it's like that, and what's gonna happen with it. You know what I'm saying? So like I told you, you know, uh, I'm building a business, an economic business, right, called the Econize-More. And for that business Econize-More, I want everything to be as big as it can be, and as new as it can be. I don't want to be inspired. Well, being sorry. Being inspired is not a problem. Being inspired is always a good thing for for new business idea. But I still want my ideas to be new and original, right? And when it comes to final plan, I want it to be as big as it can be, right? And walking around McNeil, right, I never wanted to lose it, right? I always wanted to keep it for myself, right? I love McNeil very very well. I love the people in McNeil very very well, and I love the staff in McNeil very very well, right? And the reason why I wanna have it like that is to call McNeil Court my house, right? Because I just wanna live here forever, but not in a housing project, in like a castle mansion, right? So now let's talk about the house. So basically, the house covers four corners, right? So basically here, right, on this line, we have Hazeldean, right? On top on this line, we have Castlefront, right? So the first corner is from Hazeldean here, all the way to Kakulu here on Castle Frank, right? Then after you go up Kakulu, and you can get down to Eagleson, right? After getting down to Eagleson, you come back on Hazeldean. I don't know how many square feet is that, but it's pretty big. It covers like 5 neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And this is the backyard, right? They call this green field. You know what I'm saying right now? But my backyard will be the whole green field. You know what I'm saying? From Eagleston to the entrance of Bell's Corners, which is right here, right? And yeah, with the gate right here. So it is a big project I wanna build after I become, not after I become successful, but after I'm able to buy a state and be established, right? And now let's talk about what's gonna be in the crib, right? Before we talk about auto cars and all these things, I just wanna talk about what's really going to be in the crib, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you zoom in into McNeil, this is the main gate, right? McNeil is the main gate, right? And like remember, right? Right here, that's the back gate, right? So basically, you know what I'm saying? If you zoom in here, you get McNeil, right? And right here, you get, let me zoom in even more. Right here, you get the community center. It's a big building, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to renovate, like after everything, if it becomes successful, or when it becomes successful, I want to renovate this building and make it Studio A, right? From with rooms in it, going from Studio A1 to Studio A11, with the basement studio, calling it Studio A Basement. Studio A1 will be the biggest studio of the house, like the main studio, with going down to Studio A11 and Studio Basement, which is which is like the second biggest studio. After, if I zoom out and I zoom in closer and I zoom into another spot, you get 9 McNeil block. I said you get 9 McNeil Court. Sorry. So on 9 McNeil Court, I want to keep the building too and renovate it and call it Studio B, going from Studio B1 to Studio B12, and having a Studio B Basement, the fourth biggest studio in the house. All right. And also, all right, you get the church right here, right? The church, I want to keep it as if, right? But we'll go deeper into the details. The church, I want to keep it as if, right? Maybe take off the roof, right? Sorry, I have to wait. Sorry. So the church, I want to keep it as if, right? Maybe take off the roof. You know what I'm saying? And the front part of it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I want to take off the front part is so that I can face the 3 crosses. You know? And that's about the main part of the crib, right? You know what I'm saying? And if I zoom in to another spot, you get the plaza. Me, I'm right here behind the plaza. I'm like right here, right? And right in front, it's the plaza. There's a fresh coat all the way down to a LCBO TD, right? If you look at the whole plaza, there's a Taco Bell and another spot right here, right? The whole whole plaza, I'm trying to make it a 6th floor underground garage. Alright? Yeah. Trying to make that plaza a 6th floor underground garage. Right? And now you ask me, what's gonna happen with this side? Uh, I don't know. I was planning on building neighborhoods around it, right? But new neighborhoods, like new cribs, not that big cribs, and not those small cribs, not neither, like good looking cribs around it, right? And that's what I was planning to do. But let's focus on this, right? Uh, if I zoom in, you know what I'm saying? I want to make this plaza a sixth floor underground garage that's gonna be filled with cars, right? And not Lamborghinis and all these cars, normal cars like from BMWs to Hondas to Lincolns, like just full of cars, right? Now we got to the garage, right? Now, um, this this is where I live, right? Right here, this is where I live, right? So this small square, right? I want to keep it, right, and push it down like in the forest, right, as one room in the crib as a theme, because I want to remember where I live, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna push it back in back, you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna build over, with the room looking like what it looks like in this crib right now. Alright. I'm gonna have another presentation on probably like on the week. Right now I'm a bit rusty because my mom is like waking and sleeping, so I don't want it to come into the light. You know what I'm saying? But for now I think we're good. So now we talked about the gate. We talked about Studio A. We talked about Studio B. We talked about the church, facing and like being open on the front and taking out the roof and facing the 3 crosses. We talked about the plaza being a garage, and we talked about just that small square. You know where the blue dot is? Not the whole thing, just the small square here being pushed like further in the back as one room. You know what I'm saying? And now, the last detail I was going to talk about is the pathway here. You know what I'm saying? So you see when you take this pathway, you go down on Lorbendo, right? And that pathway Lorbendo, it goes down here. You know what I'm saying? And if you go down, you get to let's get to Mavic. Hold up. If you go down, you get around. Well, hold up. I have to show the right spot. Yeah, if you go down, you get to this school, right? You know what I'm saying? If you go down, you get to this school. You know what I'm saying? And usually behind this school, they put the rink. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to the house is gonna be super big, so I'm trying to have like ways that are out and ways that are in. You know what I'm saying? Like what the studio is, it's kind of like a open closed area, where the church is kind of open closed area, where the garages is totally closed, down where the small crib is totally closed. But on Robendo, I'm trying to make it like a tunnel, like a visible like an open tunnel. You know what I'm saying? That like in the winter I can skate down to the rink. You know what I'm saying? And it goes down and that'd be pretty cool. I just wanted to add that design in. You know what I'm saying? So if you go back and you go here on the bundle, I'm trying to keep it like open but at the same time closed, right? All the way down to what I showed you, Katimavic. And so in the winter it becomes like a ice rink, right? All the way down to the outdoor. Right? So that's what we talked about. We talked about the path, right? And this whole thing right here, the forest, I call it the front yard. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna add like a lot of decoration, but not too much. Everything that represents me, right? But not in that sense. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I wanna live when I become successful. I think there's some things I'm forgetting. Hold on. So here in purple, right? That's the whole backyard, right? Like around here, that's where I'm gonna put the rehearsal festival stage. It's gonna be outside, right? It's gonna be outdoor, the festival rehearsal stage, and I'm gonna have inside rehearsal stage too, but not a big one. Just like just a small room, just a rehearsal room that you can see anywhere, right? But the rehearsal for festivals, I'll put it outside right here. You know what I'm saying? And the backyard goes all the way down to Bell's Corners, right? And you see the gate here. And now, how do you get to the garage? You know what I'm saying? That's a design that I've been thinking about. I've been walking around the neighborhood a lot. You know, going from Eagle City, just to imagine how it will all work out, right? And to get to the garage, right? You know what I'm saying? This is the front gate, right? But I was thinking, right? When I come down here, right? I go underground, right? I go underground all the way down to the garage, right? Because I already underground garage. The other way I can do is that I can go all the way around with that like small paths and everything and go here to the garage on the ground, right? But the main way people are gonna come in if they get invited as guests is to the back gate, right? Because it's gonna be an easy access to the garage, right? Front gate you have to go on the ground, or you have to go all the way around. But if you come to the back gate, you just come straight, and you turn. And you turn right here to go into the garage. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you know what I'm saying? This really for my love of McNeil, my love for the church that's in front of me, and how I just want to buy it all. Right? And I believe that if it becomes to be true, it will be super beautiful, right? You know what I'm saying? Big story that'll never be forgotten. You know what I'm saying? So you see it. You know what I'm saying? This is in red. This is the house. You know, I forgot to tell you. The house is 3 floor up and 2 basement down, right? And yeah, and you asked me how I'm gonna walk the whole crib. Well, I'm gonna have carts. You know what I'm saying? So and these carts, they're not just gonna be like golf carts, right? They're gonna be small carts, obviously. Probably, but in the size that I'm sitting right now. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty small, and they're gonna be like like car design, like Lamborghini design, Bugatti design, and stuff like that. But cars, so I can move around the crib and do my thing. You know, there's also gonna be a library. There's also gonna be a office, couple office, a lot of offices. You know what I'm saying? And this is where like you know most of Econize-More project will come out of. You know, so I'm looking a lot towards that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing a lot of potentials into it. So we're gonna get a little summary of the company. We're gonna get a little summary of the business before we close, and then I will let y'all go. I hope that you guys like what it looks like, right? And also, you can visit the area to see how big it is, because I don't think you can see how big it is. So if you're from Ottawa, Gatineau, Montreal, right? Uh, the corners are Hazeldean, Castle Frank, Eagleson, and Kakulu. As you can see, it has to do this square right here, right? And that's how big it is. And you can like, if you're visiting, I really encourage you to turn into the neighborhoods, so you can really imagine how I'm seeing the scene, right? Uh, this is not to be going into. The only forest you can go into is the one in the front, right? That's a good forest. That's a good forest. But the forest right here is a real bad forest. Nobody goes here, right? But there's couple paths. There's couple paths in, right, for bikes and stuff like that. But from Eagleson, I wouldn't tell you to jump the fence, right? I would tell you to take the green path, right? That the right here. There's a road here, right? You take Robertson, my bad. You take Robertson, and if you take Robertson, there's couple entries to go inside. You know what I'm saying? You can do that if you want, but I don't really go over there, right? But already, if you wanna see a vision of the backyard, you don't even know to go in. All you gotta do is you just gotta walk Eagleson, or you walk or you drive down Robertson, and you look on your left, right? It's gonna be all green, and you see the vision and where it comes from, right? And yeah. So basically, for all around, because the point of this is that I got this because I got to a point that I'm in a lot of money, right? So for all around, it's about rebuilding. It's not about just building that one castle. Oh, I forgot to name what's gonna be the name of it. The name would have been uh McNeil Castle Frank David's property. That's what I called this. I call this McNeil Castle Frank David's property. But anyways, like for all the neighbors around, right? The point is that I made a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also helping the community. We have the $2,000 a month to low income and stuff like that. So we can truly rebuild around us. You know what I'm saying? And make sorry. And make ways, the ways like in Europe with rocks and stuff like that, like big ways, big roads, but with rocks, new sidewalks, new bridges, stuff like that, a new rebuild, you know what I'm saying? And, 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 That's everybody has their own project, right? But if I do complete my project, I really want to finish with this, you know, and yeah, and I will repeat it again. It's because I really love my neighborhood, right? And what I done with the people living in here, first of all, I'm thinking in my head that's down the line, and second of all, I'm like, okay, we have a system where the cribs are lower and the money is high. I can give better houses. I can totally give better houses, right? But it's all to deal with after. I don't want to sound selfish. I don't want to sound mean. I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm gonna kick you out because of no. I don't want to sound like that. I just want to say, once everything is done, that's what I want to build, right? A crib big like this. Um, we'll talk a lot about this. I'll tell you more in details about it. We have a cleaner version of it too. You know. Um. Well. But the backyard. What's going to be in the backyard? Like already, here, this space right here, is gonna be a lake, right? This I'm gonna make it a lake, right? And if you go see, I was telling you about the interior and outdoor kind of interior exterior kind of design, right? Because here, right? Hold up. Because here, you see here, this looks like a pond, but it's just a place where we sit down. I want to make it a spa. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not a big fan of water. I'm not a big fan of spas and things like that. I see them as decoration. Like if we can put like something double decker with a pool on top because the house is decoration, right? I would take it 100%. But I'm more for the design, like really for the design, looking enormous stuff and things like that, right? So this closes it for the house, right? So I'll repeat again, right? From Hazeldean to Castlefront to Cackle to Eagleton back to Hazeldean. Backyard all the way down to Bell's Corners, the gate, alright? With, hold up, with Studio A, that goes from Studio A11, that goes from Studio A1 to Studio A11, and Studio B, that go from Studio B1 to Studio B12. This part right here, I don't really care about. It's part of the crib, right? With the church, I'm trying to take off the roof and take out the front so you can face the garage. The three crosses, and the plaza right here. I'm trying to make a 6th floor underground garage, right? So I hope you like it. And now let's fall into the bins for a bit. So as you know, my name is David Okoni, CEO of Econize-More. So what is Econize-More? Econize-More is an economic business and goal to partner up with the Canadian government with the slogan of giving 2,000 a month to low income worldwide, all that through Canadian resources without competing and with alliance, right? So, what does Econize-More hold? We have a label, a church, a company called Onwood, a company called Okar, a tech company called Captive with a K, and we want to breach in with football youth instead of football stay 50, right? What does a label consist of? The label consists of everything that a label could offer, right? The new game into it will be with the study of how it's going by then, but for now, it consists of everything a label consists. The church. The church is a non-profitable business where we praise the Holy Spirit. You can follow my other videos on YouTube to get into the idea of it. And also, the church is called Church of David, and you can check on Twitter and Instagram, Church of David or Church of David 01. What is it? What's it about? We have the company Onwood. The company Onwood is a company that brings the tools and the wood to your spot, right? And in the winter, we bring salt, gloves, and heating pads, right? But the main focus on wood is that we bring top quality equipment to you for the right price, right? And then we have Okar. Okar is a company where we import foreign car parts from other countries to Canada, and we have a membership with a garage person so he can get it from us and repair cars faster and for cheaper. We have the tech company Captive, right? A Canadian tech company, which means to be much bigger and high demand in the world. And we have Football State 50, right? Every day, not every day, but on these 2 days, whenever I have a full presentation, I will come on here and break these things up. But today I just wanted to talk to you about the house that you seen earlier. And I hope you like it, right? This is the Canadian dream. This, I believe, is to show people things are possible, right? Because I'm not if the world was not in desperation, I want to try to create this business, right? I try to create this business to answer the desperation of the people in Canada, right? They're saying all over the media that we're sad and all these things. So I want to create something happy. But if it works, that starts in Canada and gets leased around the world. Alright? So I've seen a problem and I'm trying to bring a resolution to it. Right? And as a reward to myself, after I make a certain amount and I'm established, I want the house that you guys see. We'll see a last time, but we're not gonna explain it, right? Oh, right here. You know what I'm saying? After I'm established and I make a lot of money, that's what I want to buy, right? And this is a project I'm working on towards to very much. Anyways, guys, this is Dave Okoni, CEO of Econize-More. Have a good day. And remember one thing, the Kenyan dream has just started, and we're all working towards it. Thank you.